Hello everyone, welcome to the next session on percentages. Today we'll talk about simple interest and compound interest. So this is one area in from which you will find many questions in most of these competitive exams. So if you talk about any exam in which aptitude would come or quantitative aptitude is there, you will see that questions from simple interest and compound interest would mostly be there. And not only that, it is also used many a times in your real life as well, while taking a loan, while paying installments, while paying any kind of borrowing that you have taken. So therefore it's an important topic for all of us, so please read it carefully. So let's start. Let us say I have taken 10,000 rupees from someone at a rate percentage of 10% per annum, at a rate percentage of 10% per annum. So how does simple interest work? We'll talk about that in this session now. So principal is 10,000 rupees, rate is 10%. So in simple interest, there is a simple logic that is used. So it came from simple only. So for first year, what is the interest that will be charged? The interest is nothing but 10,000, 10%, which is equal to 1,000 rupees. That is 10,000 into 10 divided by 100. Similarly, what is the interest for the second year? I would again say 10% of 10,000. 10% of 10,000 is again 1,000. So the same 10,000 into 10 divided by 100 would be the interest for second year. Similarly, for third year, the interest would be 1,000 rupees, so on and so forth. For each and every year, the interest would remain the same, that is 10% of 10,000. So if I ask you what is the interest after T years, so keep this in mind. This was the interest for first year. This was the interest for second year. This was the interest for third year. If I talk about interest of 2 years, so interest for 2 years, you will say 1,000 plus 1,000, that will be 2,000. Interest for 3 years, there's a difference between third year and 3 year. So the interest for 3 years would be 3,000. So what is the interest after T years? It will be 1,000, 1,000, 1,000 T times. So 1,000 into T would become the interest. Or if I write it in the form of a formula, you can say first year simple interest is P into R divided by 100. Second year it is P into R divided by 100. Third year again P into R divided by 100. So what is the interest for T years? I would say P into R divided by 100 T times. And therefore we have this formula for simple interest which says P into R into T divided by 100. Simple interest is P into R into T divided by 100. And obviously, if I talk about the amount would be nothing but principal plus simple interest. So P plus PRT divided by 100 would become the amount. This is the amount and this is the simple interest. So this is how simple interest is calculated. I'll move on to the second part now, which is compound interest. So what happens in case of compound interest? Let's talk about that. So again, let me take the principal as 10,000 rupees, the rate as 10% per annum. So how does compound interest work? Let us talk about it. For the first year, what is the interest? The interest for the first year is 10% of 10,000, which is equal to 1,000 rupees. What is the interest for the second year? Now here comes the change of compound interest with respect to simple interest. In simple interest, we used to say that you always get interest on this 10,000 and 10% of 10,000 was always 1,000. But in compound interest, we say that 10% of this 10,000, which is equal to 1,000 rupees, is the interest. Plus, you will also get interest on last year's interest. That means you will get 10% of this 1,000 as well. So 100 rupees is an extra interest that you will get in case of compound interest for second year. Similarly, if I talk about the third year, how much interest would I get? I would get 10,000 ka 10%, which is equal to 1,000 rupees. So you anyways will get 1,000 rupees as an interest. But you will also get 10% of this 1,000, which is equal to 100 rupees. You will also get 10% of this 100, which is equal to 10 rupees. And keep this in mind, there is a common mistake that students make. that they do not count this, that you will also get an extra interest on that 1000, which is equal to 100 rupees. So basically you can say, in case of compound interest, the first year's interest is 1000, the second year's interest is 1100, and the third year's interest is 1210. So just look at these values because these are important. They are telling you that how much extra interest you get with respect to the simple interest, because obviously this 1000, this was there in simple interest as well. So from where are we getting these extra amounts? This is nothing but interest on first year's interest, or first 2 years interest, or first 3 years interest. I mean, if I talk about the interest for the fourth year, how much interest would I get? Obviously 1000 rupees I'll get on 10,000. This has to be there. What is the extra interest? I will be getting interest on this 1000. I will be getting interest on this 1000. I will be getting interest on this 1000. So 1000 10%, 1000 ka 10%, 1000 ka 10%, that is 3 times I will get 100 rupees. Plus I will also be getting 10% of this 100, 10% of this 100, 10% of this 10, and 10% of this 100. So 10% of the 300s will give me 3 times 10, and 10% of this 10 will also give me 1 rupee. So ultimately the interest for the fourth year would become 1331 rupees. So this is how compound interest works, in which you not only get interest on the principal, you also get interest on interest, which was not there in case of simple interest. Now, if I go for the formula of compound interest, so you can look at it like, in case of compound interest, the money which was 10,000, after a year, it became 10,000 plus 10% of 10,000, or you can say by taking 10,000 common, it becomes 10,000 into 1 plus 10 by 100, right? 10,000 plus 10,000 ka 10%. So 10% of 10,000 is added. That becomes 10,000 into 1 plus 10 by 100. Now next year, this whole money, this again increases by 10%. So it is again multiplied by 1 plus 10 by 100. Then next year it again increases by 10%. So it is again multiplied by 1 plus 10 by 100. And if you remember, we have already done this. This is something like successive percentage increase, right? So you see that the money becomes 10,000 into 1 plus 10 by 100 raised to the power as many time periods are there. So if there are 3 years, we write 3. If there are 4 years, we write 4. If there are 5 years, we write 5. And for n years, we write n. So for n years, basically the formula becomes P into 1 plus R by 100 raised to the power n. But keep this in mind, this formula tells you how much the money would become. That means this is the formula for amount. But for the formula of interest, we need to subtract the principal from this. So P into 1 plus R by 100 raised to the power n minus P has to be done to calculate the compound interest. I hope this is clear to all of you. So I'll talk about another aspect of compound interest now. That is, what if it is, you must have heard of this, that the interest is compounded semi-annually, or sometimes they say quarterly. It can be monthly, it can be daily. I mean, basically the time period has been changed. So what does this mean? So I'll compare the two cases that we discussed in the previous question and now in this question, that what difference does it make? If principal is 10,000 and rate is, let's say, 10% per annum, in case it is compounded annually, and in case it is compounded semi-annually, and in case it is compounded quarterly, what difference does it make? We'll talk about that. In case it is compounded annually, at the end of the year, you will be charged an interest of 1,000 rupees. But suppose if you are talking about semi-annually, that means first time the interest would be charged at the end of 6 months. That is semi-annual. And obviously, if you are charged 10% for a year, for 6 months you will be charged only 5%, which is equal to 500 rupees. And after another 6 months, you will be again charged 5%. which is 500, but you will also be charged 5% on this 500 as well. So you will be charged 25 rupees extra, and therefore in this case first year's interest would become 1025 rupees, which was initially 1000 in case of annual. Okay, what about quarterly? In case of quarterly, you are charged at the end of 3 months. Obviously, first time you will be charged 2.5%, which is 250 rupees. After another 3 months, you will be again charged 2.5%. And how much would be that 2.5%? Obviously, 250 plus how much extra you will be charged? 2.5% of this 250. 2.5% of this 250 would be 6.25 rupees. That means the interest at the end of 6 months itself, it becomes 506 rupees 25 paisa. If I compare it with this, it was 500 here, which has become 506.25. And obviously, if I go on like this, the interest for one complete year, it would be certainly more than 1025. It will be something like 1031 point something or aisa kuch. I don't exactly know the value, but it will be surely more than that. So what happens when you convert it to semi-annually or quarterly? The simple logic is, in case of annually, you are charged 10% only once. In case of semi-annually, you are charged 5% twice. In case of quarterly, you are charged 2.5% 4 times, right? So basically what is happening, the rate is R%, the time period is 1. The rate is R by 2%, half ho gaya hai, the time has been doubled. And here the rate is 1/4, right? And time has become 4 times. Normally, you would not find many questions on semi-annually or quarterly. Most of the questions in management entrance exams, they are based upon the annual compound interest only. So I think that will be more important for all of us, and we'll focus upon that one. I'll move on to the next part of it now. So here we are talking about simple interest versus compound interest. I'll be showing you a table which will be explaining everything to you. And most of the questions of SI and CI can be made easy using this table. So let us say there is a principal of P and a rate of R% per annum. So how do simple interest fare with respect to compound interest? If I talk about the first year, the simple interest is P into R divided by 100. The compound interest is P into R divided by 100. So this is the first important point. So for 1 year, simple interest is equal to compound interest. Let's talk about second year now. In second year, simple interest is again PR by 100, but compound interest is PR by 100 plus, as we have discussed before, you get an extra interest. And what is that extra interest? It is R% of this PR by 100, that is PR square divided by 100 square. So on the basis of this, you can say compound interest and simple interest for 2 years differ by PR square divided by 100 square. And this is nothing but interest on first year's interest. Interest on first year's interest. Let's talk about third year. In third year, the simple interest is still PR by 100, but compound interest is PR divided by 100 plus you get R% of this, which is PR square divided by 100 square, plus you get R% on this, which is PR square divided by 100 square, and you get an extra interest, which is R% of this, which is PR cube divided by 100. So if you look at the difference between compound interest and simple interest for 3 years, it will be 3 PR square divided by 100 square plus PR cube divided by 100. Keep one thing in mind, there is a common mistake, as I've told you before as well. When I say compound interest and simple interest, the difference for 3 years, this is the difference only for third year. When I talk about the difference for 3 years, the difference for 3 years would be this whole amount. This complete thing would be the difference for 3 years. Because now if you look at this, the 3 simple interests are 3 PR by 100, The three compound interests are 3 PR by 100 plus this portion. So this whole portion is the difference for 3 years. When we talk about the difference of 2 years, the difference of 2 years is all this amount, all of this amount. But actually there was no difference in the first year. So in case of 2 years, we could say that whatever is the difference for second year, same is the difference for 2 years. But in case of 3 years, it matters. That is an important part, right? I hope all these portions are clear to you about simple interest and compound interest. Okay, let us discuss a question on this now. Pause the video here, take some time to answer this question, and then look at the solution after that. Okay, pause it now. So let's start discussing the question now. So here is again a question from actual cat. Amal invests rupees 12,000 at 8% interest compounded annually and 10,000 at 6% interest compounded semi-annually, both investments being made for 1 year. Bimal invests its money at 7.5% simple interest for 1 year. Amal and Bimal get the same amount of interest in the amount in rupees invested by Bimal. So let's talk about Amal first. So Amal has invested 12,000 rupees in the first scheme, 10,000 rupees in the second scheme. In the first scheme, he's getting 8% interest compounded annually. In the second one, he's getting 6% per annum, but compounded semi-annual. So in the first scenario, he gets 8% of 12,000, which is equal to 960 rupees as an interest. In the second scenario, he is using it semi-annually. So when you are doing it semi-annually at 6% per annum, you'll get 3% in the first 6 months and 3% in the next 6 months. So in the first 6 months, you would be getting 3% of 10,000, which is 300. And in the next 6 months, you would be getting 3% of 10,000, that is 300, plus 3% of this 300 as well, which is equal to 9. I hope you remember that. In case of compound interest, you get interest on interest as well. So by compounding semi-annually, we are getting 609 rupees here and 960 rupees here. So basically, Amal is getting a total interest of 960 plus 609, that is 96511569 rupees in these two schemes together. He says Bimal also gets the same interest, same amount of interest, that is 1569. At simple interest, rate is 7.5%, time is 1 year. We have to find out his principal invested by Bimal. So let's go by the direct formula of simple interest, which says P into R into T divided by 100, right? So simple interest is 1569. Principal we have to calculate. Rate is 7.5%. Time is 1 year divided by 100. So from here we can say principal is 1569 into 100 divided by 7.5. Here 7.5 can also be written as 15 by 2. So I can write this as 15 by 2. Okay. So 5 3s are 15 and 5 20s are 100 and 3 5s are 15, 2s are 6, 3s are 29. So this complete thing gives me 523 into 20 into 2. So I think this is equal to 4 3s are 12, 1 8 plus 1 9 and 20. So 20,920 rupees must be the amount invested by Bimal in this scheme. I hope this part is clear. It's a question from the actual exam and not very difficult. I think it can easily be solved if you make such tables as we discussed before as well. So let's discuss another question on the same concept. Pause the video here, take some time to answer this question, and then look at the solution after that. Okay, pause it now. So let's start discussing the question now. So let's discuss this. This is also from one of the actual CAT exams. If DI represents the difference between SI and CI on a certain sum for I years, so keep this in mind, this is I years, not ith year, at the same rate of interest, and D2 is to D3 is 5 is to 16, then find the rate of interest. I hope you remember we discussed this, that what is the difference between compound interest and simple interest for 2 years. I think I discussed this with you that there is a direct formula for that, which is PR square divided by 100 square. And similarly, there is a direct formula for compound interest minus simple interest for 3 years. It is 3 PR square divided by 100 square plus PR cube divided by 100 cube. The question says the ratio between them is 5:16. That means if this portion is equal to 5, then this portion is equal to 16. Now in the second portion, I can take PR square by 100 square completely common out of it. So we are left with 3 plus R by 100. This should also be equal to 16. But PR square by 100 square is already given to us as 5. So let's put it as 5. This gives us 3 plus R by 100 is equal to 16 divided by 5. You further solve it, this gives you R by 100 is equal to 1 by 5. That means R is equal to 20%. So therefore, the rate of interest in this question is equal to 20%. I hope this part is clear. If we have the formulas with us, we can easily solve such a question. But this question can also be solved by one another method if you do not have the formula in your mind. So how to solve it? As I discussed with you, in SICI, the table is also very important. Once you have the table with you, you can make the questions pretty easy for. So let's discuss that as well once. Simple interest, compound interest. So in case of simple interest, in first year you get an interest of I, second year you get an interest of I, third year you get an interest of I. In case of compound interest, you definitely get I in all the 3 years, but you get some extra interest as well. In the first year it is I, but in the second year you get I plus R% of this I, right? You get interest on interest. In the third year you get I plus R% of first year's interest, R% of second year's interest, and R% of the second year's extra interest. So basically this is R% ka bhi R%. So I into R% into R%, that becomes I R% square. Right? He says the difference between 2 years is 5. So if I talk about the difference of 2 years, that is this figure. This figure is equal to 5, because if you look at the first 2 years, these two values are same. If these two values are same, so obviously this is the difference. But if I talk about first 3 years now, in the first 3 years, what is the difference? In first 3 years, you see that all these values are similar. If all these values are similar, so what is the difference? The difference is this complete thing. The difference is this complete thing, right? And this complete thing, according to the question, is equal to 16. But I into R% we have already decided as 5. That means this also is 5. This also is 5. So 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 15. So this remaining figure must be equal to 1. Only then the total box will give you 16. Right? So you get this value as 1. And this 1 is nothing but R% of this 5. So if R% of 5 is equal to 1, so what is the rate percentage? You can easily calculate that from here, that 20% of 5 is equal to 1. I hope you understood this as well. Okay, everyone. So that's all about this session. Thank you very much.